I think you're just going to have to make a decision here, Rebecca, and let the chips fall where they may. Oh, Lord. Because what do we think about this size for the neck? What's this, 36? So that looks like it might be just that little bit too wide. Should we do 28? Make a decision, Rebecca. Make a decision. Make a decision, girl. Yeah, anyway, we're going to make a decision. Because we could be here for hours. Oh, God. Maybe I need another cup of tea. That might be the answer. Yeah. For simplicity's sake, roll the montage.
Let's begin.
Amazing. I love it. Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to the Ration Book. Today we are going to be making the Victory Jumper, which is from the Victoria and Albert Museum's website. It's an original pattern from June 1945. It was published in the Home Notes magazine. Now, I've been on the Ravelry website, just out of curiosity really. There are so many variations of this jumper that people have knit. And there are some absolute crackers. I'm gonna tell you, if you're looking for inspiration, it's not a bad shout to go on the old Ravelry website. We're going all out. We're going patriotic. We are going red, white and blue. This is a 3-ply pattern, and I don't have 3-ply. I don't even have 4-ply. All I have is double knit. These are what I've been gifted. So thank you, Leslie. There is a white in the bag that came with these. However, I just don't think it quite matches the tone of these two. So I've had a rifle through my stash and I've got this, which I think just works a bit better. Not that you can see much difference, but when I put it like that, you can see it. I'm thinking the tone of these works nicely. Hey! Now, the original pattern is given as a 33 to 34 inch bust. There's no way that's going to fit me. No way at all. So I did a gauge swatch. On the original, it says to get 7.5 stitches to the inch. Now, I have used 3.25mm needles. That's a UK size 10 with double knit yarn, and I've got 6 stitches to the inch, which I don't think is too bad. I started this project when I was in the middle of Derbyshire with very limited yarn available. So I actually started a different colourway, and it's in cotton, and I think so far it's knitting up quite nicely. And I made the decision to just do it as a basic knit with no increasing. That gives me the general idea as to how my measurements are working out. So I'm going to repeat this, do it for the red, white and blue. The actual pattern itself uses a 9-stitch repeat. Knit 2 together, knit 2, wool forward, knit 1, wool forward, knit 2, slip stitch, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over. I've measured the 9-stitch repeat on this and it makes 1.5 inches. So all I've done is measured around and sort of done a bit of calculating and come up with my required stitch needs. I'm going to leave quite a long tail end, and I'll use this for stitching up the rib to make a nice strong sturdy join at the base of the garment. We're going to be doing a 1x1 rib for just shy of 4 inches, 3 3/4 inches, and it's going to be on the UK size 12. That's the old size 12, which is a 2.5mm. If you're doing like what I'm doing and just working with what you've got, then just do yourself a swatch. I'm so excited about the idea of making whatever I'm making that I just want to get on with it. I've never really been a huge fan of swatching, but it's been so useful doing a swatch for this particular project because I've never knit anything that is wavy or chevron-y. So I did a swatch, partly for the measurements, but mostly just to see what the pattern was, to get my head around the pattern, to make sure that I was doing it correctly. And then once I knew that it was forming nicely and it looked like what it should look like, I thought, yeah, I've got the confidence now. I can crack on with making the actual jumper. It's knitting up quite nicely, nice and thick. It seems to be quite a sturdy rib, and it's very defined because of it. Thin needles and a slightly thicker ply than would be desirable for 2.5mm. I'm quite liking it. It's feeling nice and, can you say high quality? Can you say that? Oh well, I have. Right, so we're changing to a new colour, and it tells you in the pattern to wind the two together, and I think that's just to make a sturdy edge when you're changing the colours. So we're going to move on to white now. We've done 4 rows of red, so I think I'm going to put my needle in and my apologies. Right, so put the needle in, hold that red tight, wind them around, sort of thing, and then do that. The thing I'm checking every single time I change colour is to make sure that this strand that's just connected has got plenty of leeway. So see how my needle is holding it like that? So if I do that, change the needle slightly, that gives you the full length, and yes, there's plenty of give there. So we'll carry on, hold that red, make it nice and tight, and then start with the double, the 2 knit together. The reason why I've got 2 of these normal plain stitches on either side of the top is so that when I join the front and back together, within these stitches there's like a bar, and that bar is what I'll be sewing together. I'm having a go at this. I've never done it before. Hoping to try and make a neat edge. I'm trying to get my sewing skills just that bit better for when I join things up. Try and make a bit more of a professional looking finish. I'll tell you something, if V.E.Day is anywhere like this as temperature and weather, I'm going to be sweltering in this top. From the swatch, it didn't seem too bad. I was like, okay, this is okay. But actually, knitting it up, it's thicker than you think. But we'll carry on. It'll come in handy at some point, even if I can't wear it on V.E.Day. But I really hope I can. Right then, so we are at a decent length, I think. I think it's possibly now time to check to see if I want to do any armhole shaping. I want to do armhole shaping on the blue sections because that's like a 6 row sort of section, whereas the rest, this is like a 4, that's a 2. So if I do it on the 6, then I don't know, it just might make life a little bit simpler if I decrease on the blue, which means we might be there. So let's just double check. No, I think one more repeat. I think if you're wearing it, it's fine if you're standing, but when you bend over, there's just that little bit of ride up. So one more repeat and of the 16 rows, and then our armhole shape. Ooh, we're getting there. Oh gosh, we're starting to get a bit of light, aren't we? Put this together. Is that any better? Yeah, it's better. I've just had a little look through and I think I've got enough stitches either side to do it the way it says on here. And actually it says that the shaping, a lot of it is around the neck as opposed to this bit. It's like you decrease stitches here alongside taking them off here. I suppose that's to make it a nice snug fit. So we're going to knit the pattern just as is up until this first safety pin. I've got 34 stitches on here and it gives me 4 complete repeats of the pattern, which is rather nice. So on the second row we're going to purl 2 together and purl to the end. Simple enough, I can do that. Now this is where you have to be a bit cautious with your wool forwards, because you could be decreasing and then increasing. Concentrate, Rebecca. Concentrate. It's all right decreasing here, but then if you increase with a yarn with a yarn forward, yarn over, whatever you want to call it, you're just keeping the same amount of stitches. You're not actually doing the decrease of the neck shape. Cast off 9 stitches, pattern to the last 2, and then knit 2 together. Okay. 6, 7. Oh, I'm so excited, this is happening. 8. Pattern to the end, and then knit the last 2 together. Okay. Now you see, here we are. Got a yarn over just there. I'm not going to treat it as a yarn over, because that would then effectively make it cast off 8 stitches. So I'll just keep knitting. It'll be fine. I think I can take this safety pin away now. I think I know where the end of my row is. How you get... What am I doing? Dear Lord, help me. Purl 2 together, right? Oh, we got another yarn over. Just purl along. Purl along. Yarn forward, getting myself confused. That's because I'm getting excited. I'm getting myself all confused. Keep going, Rebecca. Just keep going. Keep calm and carry on, my dear. Ooh, we're getting there. Could do with a brew. Haven't had one for about 5 minutes. You see, I'm making it up as I go along. You see, this pattern was June 1945. And the reality is, not everyone in 1945 was built in the way that this pattern has been created. You know, the girl modelling it on the picture. So there will have been some people my age who wanted to wear a victory top. Of course there will, you know. Or people who are my build or whatever, and they had to find their own way around it, and I'm finding my own way around it. And on top of that, I'm having to use double knit yarn because it's what I have. We make do and mending. Right, lunch, and then I can move on to the front. Let's fold it up nice. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh dear. Right, so Friday. I was hoping to have completed one sleeve today, one sleeve yesterday. Yesterday ended up being a blip and I was really busy. So today I started at 11. We're now 7:20 in the evening and I'm still just here. So I'm now starting to decrease the shaping of the shoulder. But it's taken me all day. I've only stopped to make supper, but it's taken me all day. And I've only had 2 cups of tea. 3 cups of tea. Oh dear. So yeah, I was really hoping I'd be able to have finished maybe even 2 sleeves today. I could just, you know, bash them out. It's not going to happen, is it? Because then I could have pulled my top together tomorrow so I could wear it on Sunday, because it's going to be 11 degrees on Sunday. It's like perfect double knit weather for 11 degrees. It's not going to happen, is it? But it's fine. So I'm thinking what I might do is I might head off to the 1940s weekend and just be in the ambiance, as they say, and take my knitting with me and just enjoy being in the 1940s for a couple of days. Yeah. There'll be plenty more celebrations and patriotic things for pulling this bad boy out, so I'm not disheartened. It's a shame, but that's just life. Let me tell you about the sleeve. So the original pattern said 1 3/4 inches. I went a little bit mad and did 2 because by the time I got my measuring stick out, I'd gone a little bit over. I took the top, wound it around my arm, and that gave me the stitches down here. And then I changed to the different needles and I've done the pattern, and it tells you to increase every 6 rows, 1 either end on the stockinette side. Well, I mean, I've just chosen the stockinette side, but you know, every 6 rows. I was a bit impatient with wanting to get this pattern done. I wasn't quite sure I wanted to see just a big patch of stockinette stitch. So I started with the patterning, and it don't look great, because the moment you just even maybe remotely get to the point where you're patterning, you have to decrease it again. So on the other sleeve, I'm just going to keep this plain and deal with it, because I think it'll look nicer in the long run. It'll look neater and probably feel nicer as well. So I've got a couple of hours of light left. So I'm currently now working on the decreasing. So I take 1 stitch off either end every alternate row for 10 decreasings. What's that? 20 stitches decrease. And then it's decrease both ends on every row until it sort of looks like a shoulder shape. So we'll crack on. Oh my Jeez, it's so cold. Oh, naughty breeze, but wow. Isn't it beautiful how the clouds are capturing the amber of the sun? Yay! Maplethorpe. I've made it to the seaside. I've got half the beach in my shoes and I don't care. Good morning from the seaside. Little Sophie was getting rocked quite a lot last night and it still seems a little bit windy out there. Oh, it's so nice to be here. So nice to be here at the seaside. Yay! First job of the day, make a brew. I went to the local little shop last night and in my delirium, because I needed water for my cups of tea, I bought Highland Spring thinking, oh, that sounds lovely. Sparkling. But you know what? I made cup of tea with it last night, any port in the storm, as long as it's warm and wet and it's tea flavoured, we're good. What a numpty. So we're Monday morning, 8 AM, and V.E.Day is Thursday. Now I did not get this top finished in time to wear at the Desford V.E.Day celebrations, but there's plenty more coming along, so as long as I get to wear it somewhere, but it should be finished for V.E.Day because I've got today, tomorrow, Wednesday, yeah, 3 more days, so gosh, what am I doing now? I'm kind of interested to try this cup of tea. Now I'm only in slight delirium from tiredness as opposed to full blown last night. Alright, let's give this a go. Yeah, it'll do. I've kind of just dumped my life into the caravan, but you know, lovely, lovely, but here I am. We're nearly there, So I've just laid it out. So, I mean, I don't think the sleeves match quite the same, but they'll do. They're near enough. So it's neckband, ribbing, I think, and then stitching everything up. Woohoo! Plonk myself here. It's a little bit lighter just by the door, just to pick up these stitches. I've just checked the original pattern and it says to knit the neckband on the front and back in 2 separate sections, but I'm just going to knit it in the round because I think that will just make the finish a bit nicer. It says to pick up 25, rib the stitches that are held on the holders, and then do another 25, and that's the front, and then I suppose the back's about the same. But I'm just going to pick up as much as I think and go from there. And I mean, chances are it probably will be about 25 stitches. Once that's done, we're nearly there. How exciting. So I'm going to pick up as many as I can because I can always draw it in, but you can't increase it out. As long as I can get my head through, we'll be fine. Make life simple. Come on, it's so cold. Let's go in.
Why not, your own brother? Well, you're our husband. Why don't you get her a job on the railway? Let her work in the booking office for you. Selling railway tickets is highly skilled work. I've learned what she do. She can clean your little window. Or do you like it dirty so that people can't see what you're up to? Those windows are dark because they're armour plated to stop the bullets. Bullets who from? Bandits or passengers? Oh, come on.
So exciting, we're nearly there. So here it is at the moment. I've just tried it on, it does fit. I've spent all morning tying in all the loose ends, so it looks really neat on the inside. The actual original pattern tells you to carry the threads, the colours over, and then sort of wrap them around and tie them in when you change. So that's that. All I've got to do now is add the sleeves, my 2 sleeves. I don't think I've quite got them exactly the same. Ooh, bit of a difference there. This is the first one I knit with the yellow on, and it's been stretched and pulled and wrapped in bags and carried around with me, whereas this one is the one I finished yesterday, and it hasn't. This one is definitely more stretched out than this one, so maybe it'll just give it a bit of welly. I mean, they'll do. We're going to put them on, see how they go. If in the future it's just not going to work, then I'll have to unpick them. But this is going to be made for V.E.Day. The deadline is looming. That is laying as it is, bearing in mind the back is a little bit rounded over. It's flat at the top here where I've cast off. So I've got to make sure that those 2 points are where the initial join is, and then sew up, and then I can start doing the actual shaping, because that's where the cast off runs to, and that will create this bit of the shoulder here. Looking really neat. Fingers crossed it's going to look good. Sewing is not... Let's just turn Blakey off for a moment. Sewing is not my speciality. I'm not a very neat sewer at all. I love knitting. I don't hate. Do I detest? I can have projects sitting for months that don't get finished purely because I just don't want to sew them up. I love the knitting part of it, but I want to wear this so much that I am actually just really hopeful that it sews up well, and that I'm actually, I wouldn't say I'm enjoying sewing this up, but I'm definitely excited for the end product. Right, so that has taken that side down to there, so that gives me that much wiggle room if I need to gather anything. So moving on to this side, and I never knot. This is one thing that I do remember from being taught for sewing, is that you don't use knots in your sewing or your knitting generally. You go back on yourself, so you, oh, hang on, no, I want to go that way, don't I? Because this is the inside. So let's just do that. So then I want to hold the end of this yarn secure, and then I want to go back in and do it again once more, and that generally should, by going back over itself, make a secure thingy. So no knots, no bulgy knots. Here we are, the last snip. We're done. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's finished. It's finished. As always, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me on this knitting project. And if you do make it, do let us know in the comments below how you're getting on. Best wishes with it all. I just want to say thank you so much for all you guys, for your support over the last couple of years. I know it's been a bit hit and miss, but you really are the best of the best. Each and every one of you. You really are. And for that I am truly, truly grateful. Bye for now. I'll see you in the next one, and love to you all. Bye.